very excited for this team. It's my highest payout. Well, second highest payout. My highest payout is the league I won last year, which I'll talk about later in the show when we get into fantasy. But let me read you my starting lineup for this team. My QB, Patrick Mahomes. I got him had the third overall pick.
Okay.
So my QB is Patrick Mahomes. RB1, Ramondre Stevenson. RB2, Alexander Madison. Now listen to my wide receiver 1 and 2 because this is where it gets ridiculous. Wide receiver 1, Devontae Adams. It's a dynasty league. Take a guess at who my wide receiver 2 is.
Christian Watson.
Tyreek Hill.
Jesus. Dog, I got a bone to pick with Devontae Adams. I got a bone to pick with A.J. Brown.
We're going to get into it. Tight end, David Njoku.
Okay.
Now remember, it's a Superflex 12-team league. My QB2 is Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay.
Right? Let me tell you my flexes that I started last week when I scored over 200 points. Romeo Doubs.
Okay.
Jerick McKinnon.
Okay.
Tyler Lockett.
Dog, Tyler Lockett is a fantasy winner every year.
Now, let me read you some of my bench players. Samaje Perine, Aaron Jones, who was hurt. That's why he was on my bench. Raheem Blackshear, Jonathan Mingo, Cedric Tillman, Xavier Gibson, Curtis Samuel, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Dontavian Wicks, rookie for Green Bay, Trey Palmer, rookie for Tampa Bay, Gerald Everett, Noah Fant, Adam Troutman. On my IR, I have Justin Shorter, rookie wide receiver for Buffalo. It's supposed to be a speedster. I got Odell Beckham Jr.
Okay.
My taxi squad, I got Aiden O'Connell, who's the QB that the Raiders drafted.
Yep.
And then Jason Brownlee. If you watched Hard Knocks, he was one of the. I got both the Hard Knocks receivers, rookie receivers.
I got you. Yeah, I watched Hard Knocks.
So in this league, there was a guy, right? I don't know what his draft strategy was, but his 2 starting quarterbacks in a 12-team Superflex league, it was Justin Fields.
Oof.
And Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, you in the hood now, baby.
Now, a couple weeks ago, when I constructed this team on draft day, I realized that the Chiefs and the Dolphins have a week 10 bye. So the first 2 weeks, I was sending out trades trying to get low-tier quarterbacks that I could plug in for week 10 and try to construct a roster that was decent enough because it's a division rival. It's 4 teams, 3 divisions. No, 3 divisions, 4 teams. 4 divisions, 3 teams. Excuse me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good.
Yeah. 4 divisions, 3 teams. So it was a division rival. I pay him week 10 and week 12. So I was like, all right, I gotta have like a QB to fill that roster space. So I ended up getting a trade. I traded for Mac Jones.
Okay.
With a little trade package. So I have my week 10 matchup set, and then week 12, I'd have my full lineup set. So I had it figured out. Well, this guy who drafted Justin Fields and Ryan Tannehill as his 2 starting quarterbacks, he comes in the chat and was like, starting Ryan Tannehill is bad for my mental health. I can't do this anymore. So I said, hey, in the group chat, I said, hey, I got Mac Jones. And I said, actually, Mac Jones for Dameon Pierce. He said, let me think on it. So then the next day or yesterday, he sends me a trade. Initial trade, Mac Jones for Dameon Pierce straight up. And before, right when I was going to press accept, my finger was there. I was getting ready to fat finger it, my man, Danny.
Not fat finger.
I was like, let me have a look at his roster. Because you know how Sleeper lets you have a look at the full roster. So yeah. I have a look at his full roster. And I see George Pickens. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Like, why not? I have George Pickens in my other dynasty league, which is a complete rebuild, as you and I were just talking about. Why not just try for George Pickens? So I sent him a trade. Right, counter. Mac Jones and Tank Bigsby for George Pickens, Dameon Pierce. He thinks on it and says, I don't really want to depart from George Pickens, but I cannot keep starting Ryan Tannehill at the QB position.
He hates Ryan Tannehill so much.
He said, You have a deal.
That's
I
crazy.
I accept. He pressed accept. I put my phone down. How many minutes do you think it took?
3.5.
Took 2. Someone said, "Hey yo, he in here tanking again, y'all." And then I explained it to him. I said, "Yo, he needed a quarterback. I offered him one." And so
What are we talking about?
everyone looked at it and was like, he got ripped off, so on and so forth. And I thought, and I kept saying, he had a need. I had a QB. What I did was essentially concede a win in week 10 for the future development and growth and progress of George Pickens and Damian Pierce.
I like it. You sent me that trade. Like you sent me the. Did you put it in the going for 2 chat or like you
I first put in the going for 2 chat, and then I sent you the trade
That's
counter
right.
that was taken, and I didn't think it would be taken, but it was taken, and now everyone says I am the team to beat, which I guess by my roster and points scored over 200 last week, I would think so. But with health, this team, I think I'm building for the future and the right now. I told the chat I learned from the Howie Roseman School of GM.
That's right. That's right.
I still have all my picks, and this is a more linear draft. So even if I win, I'd have the 12th overall pick. But I've been letting the people know that I'm going to win the championship and have Marvin Harrison Jr. next year. I don't think that's very possible unless I give up a superstar, but we'll see.
I need to call Howie because 2 of my teams are in shambles, and I need some help.
Listen, man, listen, our 10-team dynasty league, like I told you, I am playing chess, not checkers, because people really forgot that I constructed this league, so I know the inner workings of all the draft picks, future taxi squads, roster constructions. Like I know it all. That is why I'm really starting. Listen, hold up. ISO on me. That's why I'm really starting to embrace this true Vince McMahon role, because people don't realize that I know, and I'm starting to really figure this out. Everyone kept saying in the offseason, now I'm talking redraft. Everyone kept saying in the offseason, you not winning nothing. Your team, glorified losers.
They're talking about my team because once Nick Chubb went out, that's a wrap for me.
Listen, okay, can I get your honest opinion?
Yes.
And while I do this, don't judge me, but I do have a Capri Sun here.
That's fine. Okay. I had Gushers earlier.
All right. Looks like we're the same level of childish. How do you feel about this commissioner's report?
I love the commissioner's report, but I just don't love it because I'm at the bottom of the league. Like I'm fighting Greg for like the only thing going for me is that I score a lot of points. I just go against people who score more points. Like everyone has a record week against me.
Which means that in due time, the pendulum's got to swing your way.
It's got to. Like the
past, you're just gonna play a team who doesn't show up.
Like the last 3 weeks, I've scored. I would have beaten damn near everyone else in the league. It's just people have someone that just goes off on their roster, and I lose.
What are your thoughts on the latest on this week's edition of the commissioner's report? Any thoughts? Any overall thoughts on the league?
I love the league. This is one of my favorite leagues. I love the commissioner's report. I don't like that I'm the game of the week because it's like the Tad isn't the other guy I'm going against. He's not at the bottom. Greg's at the bottom of the league. It's Greg then me. But yeah, he and I are essentially fighting for second to last place.
I just realized I had an 8 next to his name, but he's really 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Ice Davis. Yeah, he and I are like
I did put him at 8. I forgot about my own power rankings. You're right. Yeah, the 8 versus 9. I looked at when I listen. So one thing about me is I analyze everyone's team while I do these.
Oh wow, I was the second lowest scorer last week.
So when I looked, I was like, he's got 1 win, but he's not scoring a lot of points in the grand scheme of it.
Like I'm the 4th highest leading scorer in this league, and I am 0-3.
Should I show it on the screen so the people can follow along?
Yeah, throw it on the screen. Throw it on the screen.
Let's go through it.
I didn't realize I was
while I pull this up, Danny, why don't you let the good people know who the podcast is brought to them by in this week's iteration of the podcast?
So this show is brought to you by GoingFor2.com. Fantasy season is here. I need to do some more homework because obviously I'm not doing enough. Dog, the more I look at the point differential, the more pissed off I got. I have the lowest second lowest point differential, no, third lowest point differential in this league, and I'm 0-3. Head over to GoingFor2.com, all your fantasy needs. Yeah, man, it's so frustrating. Like, this is what it feels like to be a Vikings fan.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 116 of Speak On It. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell by the title, send help. Danny, I'm about to throw this up.
Throw it up. Oh, and of course, we're joined by the Smooth from the Planet Losty Mix. I'm your co-host for the evening, Danny Ocean. D, throw it up on the screen, and we'll look at it, and I can just get even more aggravated. It shouldn't be like this, man. You're right. The pendulum has to swing the other way at some point in time, but by the time it does, it's going to be too late.
All right, Danny, let's take a look at the overall standings. You're, 0-3, man. Look at this. 364.26 points.
Insane.
You're in ninth place. You're back only 66 points.
Insane.
But you look at this week. My man scored 136. You put up 104, which
so in my defense,
left some points on your bench.
Saquon is out. Hold on, let me go to my roster. Saquon was out this week. Nick Chubb blew his knee out. I have DeAndre Swift as my backup, but I had to play Samaje Perine because, again, Saquon and Nick Chubb were out. And Jalen Waddle was out, so I had to throw in Drake London. And DJ Moore has done absolutely nothing. So, yeah.
It's tough for you out here.
It's tough. Like,
how do you feel about number 2 right here? 3-0. Look at that.
Hold on. Let me go back. I'm jumping back and forth on my phone because
2-0, 3-0.
That's crazy.
Built around Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Everyone thought I was reaching when I took those back to back.
But you had the 10th overall pick, so I don't know how that's a reach. Dog, I'm just frustrated. But you're right. Like, I have to trust that the Pendulums are going to come and swing my way, and we're going to start stacking some wins because it's no way, man.
Well, similarly to the winless game that we have in the NFL that we're getting ready to preview, listen, sir, you are in the game of the week. You are in the game of the week. Now, in the commissioner's power ranking, this is number 9 versus number 8. Listen, Tad may have one win, but Danny, he's barely winning these games. Listen, this week he barely lost to the defending champion by 3, and that was still a fairly low scoring game at 113 to 116.
Danny, I have scored almost 50 more points than him.
Yeah.
But you know what? Mike Williams, I hope he and he blew his knee out. I put a lot of stock in Quentin Johnson in a lot of leagues. And I have Jay Herbo. We're gonna ride that to the championship.
I just feel like, and let me pull this up again because I just like seeing this. I just like seeing this, man. Look at this. According to the commissioner's power rankings, Danny, I'm right there, sit at 3rd. Can you believe that the number 1 team in the commissioner's power ranking is 2-1? But there is a huge gap between his points and everyone else's. He's up.
Yeah, just dominant.
34.12. If you look at his roster, you're like, woo, buddy. It's a good one. It's a good one. Shout out to the All Money and Redraft League. You guys are amazing.
Hey, Kyle.
You guys are amazing. Listen, Danny, and one more thing there. It felt even better to get a win over Joe this week, as you could tell by my activity.
You and Joe have Austin Rock level beef.
I gotta let it be. I didn't like him coming into the league going 14-0 and then 1 and done in the playoffs. I knew he was fraudulent from the beginning, but that was a good one. First time I beat him in the regular season, even though every time we've played, I've always felt like I had the better team. They just didn't show up that week, but finally felt good to get a win against him. Kyle, welcome, my brother. Kyle, speaking of that Dynasty League, you are 3-0. Kyle, you got a You pulled one out and versus me last week. Kyle, I was actually just talking to Danny about that Dynasty League, and I guess since we're here, we might as well start the show with it.
Let's do it.
Everyone thinks I'm tanking, Kyle, but really, if you look at my team each week, I am really figuring out my lineup. For one, my team's young. Once Pickens and Najee Harris really start performing at the level that offense, I think could. I think my team's only destined to get better. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence, once the Jags start performing better, and everyone thinks I'm tanking. But Kyle, I will remind everyone that I am the mastermind that constructed this league. I am the mastermind in charge of this league. Some may call me Vince McMahon, and honestly, I'm leaning right into it because I love it. So I am. I am Vince McMahon in some aspects. But if you remember how I constructed this league, I'm big anti-tanking. So effectively, there is no such thing as tanking in this league because in order to get the number one overall draft pick, you have to win the consolation tournament. So what did I go out and do? I just went out and got the first round pick of the guy that I think is most likely to win the consolation tournament. So while everyone's playing chess, I think I'm playing checkers. If you have my number one overall, if you have my first round draft pick, but the way this roster is looking, at best you will be picking fourth. But we'll see. I have a lot of hope in this team. It's a young team, maybe the youngest in the league. I think if they get it together, this is a team that could be fighting for a wild card spot. But we are not tanking by any stretch of the imagination.
I'm this close to having a fire sale. We'll see what happens this week, but I can't be wasting Josh Allen's career like this. Need to make a decision.
Nah, you got to keep him on your roster.
No. I'm saying Josh deserves better, is what I mean. Josh is
my brother. Step into my office. Maybe we can make a deal. I'm right here. I got my.
You want to do that? You want to do this live? Screw
it. Talk about it. We can talk about it. I'm here.
If
we're here, we're here. Kyle says, "I think we want to be playing chess, not checkers." Listen, Kyle, I am playing chess, not checkers. Bam, you can't get Marvin. Listen. Bam, you understand that in order to get Marvin Harris, let's just say you want to take Marvin Harrison Jr. number one overall. I would have to win the consolation bracket because you can't. You have to set every position in the consolation tournament, and I do not think I have the capabilities to win anybody's consolation tournament with the way this team's currently constructed and performing. But again, I think we are going to turn this season around, and I think we're going to be in the playoffs. Danny, back to our
our negotiation. So there are a few people on your roster I'd be interested in. I'd be interested in Christian Watson. I'd be interested in James Conner.
What type of who is tradable for you, my man? Because I'm looking at your roster.
So the only person who was untouchable, Josh Allen, Devontae, and that's about it. There's some people I want to keep my eye on. Like I want to keep my eye on Quentin Johnson, Dalton Kincaid. Don't want to move him, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Oh man,
because a lot of my players on, I have
who three people. You said?
So untouchable. I will not listen to Josh Allen, Devontae Smith. They're not going anywhere.
And you're interested in James Conner?
I am interested in James Conner, and I am also interested. Hold on, where's the other person? I would be interested in Dallas Goedert. And there was another person, James Conner, Dallas Goedert, and Christian Watson. But I have. If I take Dallas Goedert, I'm gonna have to give you a tight end because this is tight end university where I'm at. I have plenty of tight ends.
No, first off, you definitely don't have tight end university over there.
I'm just saying I have a roster full of tight ends. Not that they're good.
But you're not doing nothing with them. If you want to talk about tight end university, you're talking about Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Luke Musgrave, and Sam Laporta over here.
That's fair. Would you be
Okay.
willing to part ways with Dallas Goedert since you have Sam Laporta?
You know what?
But that's Devontae in Dallas. That's fighting the hand, you know.
Hey, I have Najee and George Pickens, so
That's true.
all right. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm potentially thinking.
Okay.
I don't know if I can move Christian Watson,
Okay.
but what I do think I think what I could maybe two people I can part ways with, or some folks I can part ways with. Dallas Goedert,
Okay.
James Conner,
Okay.
um, how do you feel about your defensive players?
Oh, they are you looking at Magabosa?
Actually, no, I'm not looking at any of them. All right. No, never mind. No, never mind.
So you looking for Magabosa? He on the block.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would be willing to part ways with Dallas Goedert and James Conner.
Okay. What?
And yeah.
Is there anyone on my team that you're?
I don't know, man. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to take some draft picks because Danny. You don't have. There's only one person that I'm looking at is Mike Evans.
Okay. It'll take a lot to get Mike Evans. Mike Evans was for sale all last year. No one.
Okay, so here's my thing. So you say Devontae is untouchable,
yes,
but it's going to take a lot to get Mike Evans. So
not really. I'm just saying Mike Evans is on pace to have another historic season. Like last year, I was trying to sell a little low on Mike.
So your alternate wide receiver options. Let me read this out.
Yep.
John Mechie, Curtis Samuel, Quentin Johnson, Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, and Hunter Renfrow.
Yep. We in the ghetto. Told you.
Okay. I just want to acknowledge that.
Yep.
So I would think Mike Evans. Okay. How about this? How do you feel about Dallas Goedert, James Conner, and either Sky Moore or Jonathan Mingo for Mike Evans and those 2 third-round picks that are not yours? Do 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 do.
Oh, we're doing the Jeopardy. Who are those 2/3? Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
And say it, not say it.
So say it, not Shay is gonna win the league.
Assuming that you, like I believe, your team won't be in the playoffs, maybe. So if it ends up in the consolation bracket, you still own that 3rd-round pick wherever you may land.
True. We to end the show to think of it, but I like where your head's at.
My brother, the people are this is an audio adventure. We got to talk through this.
This isn't. Let's see.
Kyle, what do you think of this trade? We'll bring in a member of the audience.
Let's do it.
So Kyle, right now the trade proposal is Danny would be getting James Conner, he would be getting. Who would you choose, Sky Moore or Jonathan Mingo?
Sky Moore.
So James Conner, Sky Moore, Dallas Goedert, and I would be getting Mike Evans and 2 third-round picks via Greg and Say It Not Shay It.
I check that back. I'll take Jonathan Mingo because again, we're building this roster from the ground up.
All right, Jonathan Mingo.
What do you think about that, Kyle?
So Kyle, it's James Conner, Jonathan Mingo, Dallas Goedert, Mike Evans, and 2 third-round picks.
And this is essentially would be essentially me punting on the season because Mike Evans is the second best receiver I have. Like he's the only it's him, Devontae. Like this would be me punting on the season unless I pull.
But I'll tell you what, if you swapped Mike Evans for Devontae because you wanted to keep him, then I would say Devontae. And
if we're going to talk about Devontae, Bam's first round pick is on the table. That's it. That's a
Bam's first round pick is golden.
Yeah, like if we the bar we starting at that first round pick if Devontae's on the table.
Well, look at Kyle. So Kyle says for our original offer, then he's having a hard time figure out which side he would prefer. So he would suppose that would mean it's fair.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think how I would maneuver to get another legit wide receiver. I think I can make it work. With Deontay Johnson, he's not a legit wide receiver.
Well, I'll say this. What say you? If I include Sky Moore in this deal, then I would either ask for... Oh, man.
If you throw in Sky Moore, I would be open to doing a third and a second. Let's see how that adds up.
If I throw in Sky Moore, I would either want... All right. Okay. I would either want your second round pick or Devin Achaney.
Ooh. So you would be getting, hold on.
So I'd be giving Mike Evans 2/3, Mike Evans, Devon Achane, and 2/3. And you would be getting Dallas Goedert, Jonathan Mingo, Sky Moore, and James Conner.
I'm just throwing it into my trade machine. And it says that's a fair trade.
So you would want to do Devin Achane in the 2/3.
Yeah, Devin Achane to 2/3 and Mike Evans. And if I do that, I can maneuver some of these tight ends. Yeah, Quentin. I forgot. I keep forgetting I have Quentin Johnson. Let's see. Let's look at Mike. Not Mike Evans. What's his name? Mike Williams. Look at his contract because I think he just signed a new contract, right? Like he's not going to be a free agent after this year. No, they can get out after this year. They can get out after this year. This is definitely I believe in Quentin Johnson. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it.
Here we go. Danny.
Trades coming your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, trade has been sent through.
Did you send it already? Damn, you fast.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a live, for the first time ever, a live speak on it trade?
We do.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Congratulations. You have Mike Evans.
A trade has been completed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a round of applause. Let's get a round of applause for good business, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a round of applause for good business. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever on Speak On It, we have an agreed upon and completed confirmed trade. Danny receives James Conner, Dallas Goedert, Jonathan Mingo, and Sky Moore. I receive Mike Evans, Devin Achane, and 2 third-round picks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a live trade. And that takes us perfectly, Danny,
Yo,
I
someone's gonna rip this trade. I can feel it. Gerson is lurking
what
in the corner. He gonna be like,
what's there to rip?
I don't know. Every trade that happens in this league.
So I got a running back for I got a young running back giving away an older running back that's consistent with points.
Yep.
And I'm getting a wide receiver that's consistent in points and giving you a dynamic tight end to match with Devonta.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's pretty fair.
I think Mike Evans pushes you into contention.
You have a first year and a second year receiver, and now I have space to draft 2 more. So
look at this roster, baby. I'm gonna have to drop some people. Nah, we're good. We're good. Congratulations, Dallas. You are my starting. Oh, this feels nice.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I still feel really good about my tight end room because I still got Sam Laporta, I got Luke Musgrave, and I got Zach Ertz.
It's a good day.
It is a very good day. Danny, we spent the first 30 minutes talking about the trade.
Yep.
So let's hop right into some Oh, Kyle, you want to talk about this, Danny, while we're here?
Yeah, Kyle said the chain, and that's fair.
So Danny says, again, like my thoughts on the first trade, it seems fair, but the A-chain aspect may make me flip to D's side. Now he adds, but makes sense for Danny to get 2 essentially rookie wide receivers because Sky Moore is clearly still figuring out how to play professional football. And while we're here, Danny, let's get right into the NFL.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now 3 weeks through the NFL season. Last night we had another doubleheader NFL game. What are your thoughts on the doubleheader NFL Monday night game?
I'm worried about the Bengals. Like they showed signs. Still worried about Joe's calf. They seem to figure it out though. If for me, I don't know, as an organization, the Rams aren't the best team, but I don't know if I'd send Joe Burrow out there basically on one leg against Aaron Donald. It worked out. The Eagles 3-0, and they still don't look good. I just
no, they don't.
I'm waiting.
It's I am too, but what I'm noticing from the Eagles is I think the coaches are recognizing that the passing offense isn't necessarily there yet, and they are really leaning on the run. And I've noticed it the last 2 games. You know, when the it's early in games too. I think I've noticed and you let me know if you feel the same. I'm noticing that, you know, y'all try to start out really trying to pass the ball downfield, and if it's not there early, y'all get to. It's like y'all hit like it's like an immediate flip to, oh, we're just gonna run this football, and it's y'all's most dangerous element now because I think last year maybe Miles Sanders didn't maybe fit the running scheme that y'all have. But DeAndre Swift and what he does, it seems like he brings another element to what I believe is a really, really good run scheme that y'all have.
Yeah, I think, and the people that I listen to that talk about the Eagles talk about how teams are dropping more in coverage because they don't want to give you the big play. And then, like you said, it's like, all right, we'll go to the line. We'll just check to inside zone, and we're going to trust our offensive line to open up. Like I think DeAndre Swift last night got 99 yards before contact. Yeah, like he had a 100-yard game without anyone touching him.
That man was cooking.
It's nice. The 2 picks Jalen threw. The first one, he was throwing to Swift. Swift ran a Texas route instead of curling. That's a miscommunication. Don't like it. The second one was just a hell of a play. I think the difference between this Eagles team this year and last year, that second one was insane. But last year, he completed that.
It was a great play, but I know the coach was like, yo, if you could have just landed in the end zone originally, they would have taken it out from the 25. I know he was upset. They took it out from the half-yard line.
From the half-yard line. I'll say this, and if I'm Jalen, I understand why you throw that ball because last year that worked, right? Last year that ball's in the end zone and it's a touchdown. Like you think about the A.J. Brown touchdown against the Steelers, it goes to Minka Fitzpatrick's hands. Except this year they're going for interceptions or they're not being completed. So I understand maybe the frustration that Jalen may be having. Like the luck is going the other way. Like you're going the regression back to the mean, which seems to be the buzzword.
Yeah.
So
And it was funny that one of the stories coming in the game was how Jalen Hurts has historically struggled against Todd Bowles and
yeah,
struggled against Tampa Bay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Last night, it was much more of the same. It was just Tampa Bay just couldn't really get it done offensively. Like they just didn't make enough plays.
there were some drives, like there's the touchdown throw to Olamide Zaccheaus. I think Jalen, even last year, he has this problem. He breaks out the pocket way too fast when he doesn't need to. Like if you watch like it in slow mo, like he has a pocket, he just bails. Like touchdown to Olamide was perfect. Climbs the pocket, he stays there, he finds Olamide. That's the best throw of his career, in my opinion, outside of the Dallas Goedert out route in the Super Bowl. Like for Jalen, it's more so staying in the pocket, staying in rhythm, and trusting. And it come. I think Sirianni talked about next year. He's going to want his team to play in the preseason
Next year.
like he's like because he doesn't play them in the preseason.
Yeah, I think more teams will start. I just think there's a way to do it. I think there's just a way to do it. I think you don't have to go the full Baltimore Ravens route, but I think there's a way to do it. How do you feel about Bam in the comments saying that Detroit DeAndre Swift is about to rear his head soon?
And if he does, we have a deep running back room. Like you still got Kenny Gainwell, you still got Boston Scott. I know the team is down on Rashad Penny, but there's going to be a point in the season, 2 or 3 games, you're going to need Rashad Penny. And
why are they down on Rashad Penny?
Well, from what I understand, he just doesn't have the juice anymore. Like, I mean, he's had so many lower leg injuries. For me, I think it's more so. I think they also know that we're going to need Rashad Penny at some point. So let's try to keep him as fresh as possible. But he's like getting no carries. Like he's activated and he's just standing. Did you see last night? They were talking about the running backs and they get a close up on Rashad Penny. He's just standing there with his helmet like a kid waiting to go in. Like it looked really sad.
Oh man, that's the worst. Shout out to Rashad Penny.
He's still being
doing
paid.
well, my brother. Who was your surprise winner of the weekend?
A surprise winner. I mean, it's got to be the Cardinals, right? I think it's the Card, and this is not even Cowboys. Hey, this is just like the Cardinals weren't they like double-digit underdogs? I want to say they were like 12, 14-point underdogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's not like they lucked up a drive to win. Like they were in charge damn near the entire game. So that's the first time Jonathan Gannon has been in that stadium and now blown a second half lead. Good for him. It's definitely, for me, it's the Cardinals.
Listen, I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts,
that game was insane.
Who went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. Now like it's really wild.
That game, I forgot the call, but there was a missed call that did not go into Baltimore's favor. I think it was a Bam. Maybe you watched the game. Was it a PI? It wasn't a ref from the passer, but I remember watching that play. It was a PI. It was a blatant PI. It was a tug, and it didn't get called. And that
it was on Zay Flowers.
That's it. Yeah, yep. I remember watching that, and I was like, "Ooh, that's the kind of stuff that cost you a game."
Might have been a touchdown if he scored.
And Justin Tucker.
He missed the big one that ended up losing by 3. So
you let the Colts kicker come into your house and kick over. Like I think he kicked like 450
he
plus
stepped yards. On your couch,
ate your food.
Hey, couldn't have been my franchise though. Shout out to Bam. Go ahead, Bam. Listen, shout out to Lamar. I see you, Bam. Yeah. Listen, who was your biggest loser of the week? Was it also Dallas?
No, the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh,
the Chargers did their best to charger, and Minnesota said, no. That's our job.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to let you know nobody wanted to win that game. That the Chargers and the Vikings playing this year just reminds you that there are some teams in the NFL who, as talented as they may be, are inept to winning. They just can't figure out how to put it all together. They're just not there yet. They're like just Brandon, a few more dogs.
It's like Brandon Staley's like, yeah, I'm done coaching. How can I throw this game? And Kirk Cousins was like, no.
I'm gonna start this campaign every week until it gets done. Blow the whole defense up. Not literally. I'm saying you have all these big time names, all this big time money. Blow it up. There is what is the need and what is the point of paying all these superstars if this is the defensive effort you guys are going to get most weeks? I know they won this week, so shout out to them. They were able to hold when they were, the defense ended up making the game winning play, so I can't really hate too much. But what is the point?
Disgusting.
Why did the game even get to that point? Because if I remember correctly, let me do my research.
Why you do that? I'll say Kirk Cousins is definitely doing his part to make sure Caleb Williams is taking his job next year.
Listen, the Vikings were down 14-10 at half. They both scored 14 points to win. They both scored 14 points in the second half, a touchdown each quarter. So again, and shout out to the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah, CJ Stroud.
Listen, did you see the report that there are a lot of Texans players in the locker room who are very, very happy that the Texans landed the number 2 overall pick and were able to take CJ Stroud because they feel like he is really the guy. They feel like he can really take this franchise to the next level, or where they were before, the Deshaun Watson trade.
Yeah, I mean, look at Houston, look at Cleveland. Which team would you rather watch right now? Which team do you have more faith in?
Houston or Cleveland?
It's Cleveland, but the margin is not as big as one would think. Like Cleveland still has an amazing defense. Jim Schwartz.
Yeah. But I mean, the way that that Texans defense was playing yesterday, Sunday, it was impressive. DeMeco Ryans has those guys really ready to play. Let me tell you something. Y'all remember my predictions about the AFC South. Now, maybe I need to watch a little bit more tape of the Jaguars, but they struggle to rush the passer a lot. Like, they are not good at rushing the passer.
But I feel like people thought, and I'm one of those people, it's like it's Doug Peterson. Like Doug Peterson, year 2 is something special. Calvin Ridley was coming back. ETN's healthy. And it just hasn't clicked. Well, it didn't click Sunday.
So are you saying just give it time?
I am a give it. I'm not pushing the panic. It's going to be a long time before I push the panic button on the Jaguars because they play in the AFC South.
In our 12-team Superflex redraft league.
Yes.
Right.
I am doing great in that league.
Yeah, I am not doing too hot in that league. I have Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and Calvin Ridley. Do you suggest that I look to trade either Etienne or Calvin Ridley?
What's your hold on? Let me go to that league right now. I would say give it another week because the Jags play in London Sunday. That's the Toy Story game. Really looking forward to that.
I am too. I'm actually really excited for that.
I'm gonna watch that telecast. I want to see what that looks like.
I hope they have like a. I hope they have that. I hope they have like a Toy Story equivalent to the Slime Zone.
That felt like a pause moment. It's funny because I have Evan Ingram.
But I got Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and Calvin Ridley, and then dude, I need a maybe I got to give it a week because I have been without Christian Watson this entire time. So my wide receiver 2 has been Nico Collins.
Okay, what do you need on that team?
Wide receiver 2 and maybe a decent flex.
Is there anything on my roster that interests you?
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those following along, we may have a second live trade. We are not in our Dynasty League. Danny and I are in a 12-team Superflex redraft league that Kyle is also in, by the way.
Kyle is also in.
So,
I am currently in first place in my division, which I think is the most competitive division out of all the divisions in this league.
Thank you to the mastermind who put it together.
Have I scored the most points in this league? Yes. So because I have Keenan Allen, I've scored the most points in this league. I am number 1 and I am number 2 overall behind Hokie Stoners, who was undefeated.
He was in my division.
Who was in your division? Yeah, Bam. Sorry.
Brother.
Because I am a little weak at running back. Like I could be interested in ETN. Because I have Derrick Henry and Rashad White. Derrick Henry, he been slipping a little bit. Rashad White, he's cool. but Keenan Allen not going to give me 56 points every week.
Okay, and you're looking at Travis Etienne. Well then, what about Travis Etienne and Pat Freiermuth for Travis Etienne? No, hold on. I have Travis Etienne. What about Travis Etienne and Pat Freiermuth for Stephon Diggs and Evan Ingram?
Diggs is untouchable.
Okay, my brother.
Diggs is the only consistent. That is a fair trade, though. I don't want to sound like you're ripping me off because you're not.
Okay, so you said you start this off with Keenan Allen can't score me 56 points every week, which I took as okay. You don't want to trade Keenan Allen.
So it's funny. I tried to trade Keenan Allen last week, and someone told me no. Like I tried to trade them Keenan Allen for AJ Brown, and they were like, here's the trade I offered last week. It was Keenan Allen and Evan Ingram for AJ Brown, and they were like, no.
Well, I'm interested in Stephon Diggs and Evan Ingram because in our redraft league, I have them both.
Okay.
So
would you be interested in Tyler Lockett and Evan Ingram?
No, sir.
I mean, Tyler, you talk about a decent flex. He's a decent flex.
Listen, you're taking Travis Etienne.
I don't have to take Travis Etienne.
No, you're going to take Travis Etienne because who my RB2 is James Cook.
That's true. But see, you have a good running back room.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sleep on that one.
All right, brother, man.
I'm gonna have to sleep on that one.
Because I say that because when I looked at the rest of your roster, I mean,
Are you laughing at my roster? I'm 2-1.
I'm not laughing at it. I'm just saying, like, okay, if he's going to have to. I just took it as you're going to have to trade either Stephon Diggs or Keenan Allen, and
correct.
I felt like you would want to keep the dude who scored 50. So I was like, all right, well, I was like, all right, what else what I might need? And then I was like, oh, well, he's got Evan Ingram. I could definitely use
Evan Ingram's on the block.
So I could definitely use an Evan Ingram. Then I would just give him my. I mean, you can have Evan Ingram, or you can have Pat Freiermuth or Tyler Higbee, whichever you would prefer.
Straight up for Evan Ingram.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about it in the framework of the original trade.
Yeah,
understood. Yeah, let me sleep on that.
All right, well,
because
yeah, I was about to. I mean, really, that's the best.
Would you take Keenan Allen over Diggs?
My question is, why would you want to do that? Like, I don't understand that for you. That's like your best player.
Full transparency, because you're my friend. Keenan Allen is bound to drop off, and I'm not talking about like drop off. I'm talking about significantly.
Well, this isn't a dynasty league. All you need him for is this year.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying like Keenan Allen. Every time I've had Keenan Allen, it doesn't work. Like he gets hurt in the middle of the year, his production falls off.
No.
See,
I like the Stephon Diggs stock that I have this year, and
yeah, I love Stephon Diggs too. That's why I drafted him so early.
I also drafted him early in the league.
All right, so since that's not going to work, I am open to trading Evan Ingram straight up for someone on your roster, even if it's just running back depth. I'm open to that.
Nah, brother, man, I gotta get Travis Etienne off my roster. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, I understand.
Either him or Calvin Ridley.
Okay,
that's the main focus. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I do know what I was thinking. Getting this triple stack, which when it pays off, it works. So, like week 1 when I won, it actually worked really well.
Yeah.
So
I understand.
Think on it. Let me know.
All right.
Where else? Where else are we?
I think we're ready to go into college football.
Oh yeah, even better. College football. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you were able to peep college football this weekend, but there were some really good matchups. Danny, what was your biggest win of the weekend?
My biggest win, definitely Ohio State. The Ohio State.
Oh man, what a hell of a game!
What a game!
What
And
a legacy drive by number 6, the quarterback. What a legacy drive!
Dog, he's a freshman, right? Or is he?
Oh yeah, he's a freshman.
He's a true freshman or is he a redshirt freshman?
No, that I don't know. That I don't know. But he's a freshman.
Doesn't matter. You go into South Bend against a top 10 Notre Dame team, and you got them to fuck out the paint for the rest of the year.
Not for the rest of the year. They still got a pathway, but it'll be tough. That's a good loss on their resume if they stay undefeated.
That's big. Like I stayed up
that was
that game.
But let me tell you something, man. It's not like it was like an easy drive. He was making tough throws in tough situations on key downs, putting the ball where it needs to be. Like what poise?
And then to run the ball
to win the game.
Most teams don't do that. Now, granted, Notre Dame only had 10 players on the field, and the whole left side of the line, I think it was a 3-1 advantage.
Yeah,
seemed like a real easy thing to do, but he still did it. He still did it.
It was unfortunate. Listen, my biggest win of the weekend, unconventional one I might go, but familiar name. Listen, Duke is undefeated, ladies and gentlemen.
Duke is in charge of the ACC outside of Florida State.
Duke University is undefeated in football. So that team that beat Clemson to begin the season, that was a legit team. So Clemson has 2 losses on their record to now 2 ranked teams. So it's funny that they're out of the ranking, but
get them out of here.
Of course, the big game this weekend. Well, one of the big games this weekend was Colorado at Oregon.
Yep.
And brother, it got ugly, and it got ugly fast. How about we go through some of the AP poll rankings while we're here? Go ahead.
Thing for Colorado, I was at a funeral during that game. I didn't realize there was another funeral happening on live TV. I've been sitting on that all week. Pause.
You was ready. You was ready to deliver that one too.
Huh? I was ready. That felt great.
Bam says the biggest L goes to Ryan Day for calling that 97-year-old Lou Holtz. Are you shitting me? You're what?
No,
getting that Lou Holtz too.
Yeah.
Lou, now, first off, Bam, nobody told Lou Holtz ass to get up on college game day and come right at Ohio State. He didn't send no subliminals. Lou Holtz directly said, "Yo, them boys over there that play for the Ohio State, they not developed here no more. They not tough like that." Then he was like, I was on the staff when we won the national championship, and them over there, they ain't got it. They ain't got the cojones. He said he was talking about Notre Dame tougher, they stronger, they faster, and they're just gonna pull out a close one. So, are you kidding me?
How dare you? Yeah, like don't talk to your elders. Like, hell no, nah.
I'm gonna get at him.
Right to his face.
I'm gonna get at him. Speaking of, yeah, I saw. So Kyle says he actually saw a little bit of the Oregon-Colorado game at the end of the third quarter. The total yards were 478-34.
A funeral. Put him in a casket.
It was bad. Bam says Ryan Day is the worst Ohio State coach in 20 years. Now that I might be with. Let's talk about the latest AP poll rankings, right? So the top 3 are still the same: Georgia, Michigan, Texas in that order.
Yep.
Ohio State moved up to number 4 after the big win at Notre Dame.
Yep.
Florida State now drops to 5 after the close victory at Clemson, which, let me tell you something, was a very good game. And special teams matter. Kickers matter.
Yep.
College kickers are the fucking absolute worst. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a collegiate offensive coordinator and you so happen to hear this, go for it. They stink. Go for it. Just go for it.
Just go for it.
They stink. Continuing on, Penn State, Washington move up a spot, so they are now 6 and 7.
Yep.
Southern Cal dropped to 8 after the Arizona, I think it was the Arizona State game.
Yep, and they won,
which was a tough game for them. Which on the road in Sun Devil Stadium is tough. You know what I realized? I've heard a lot of professional NFL players say this more often than not. They say playing in the NFL, traveling on road games is a little bit more. The crowd, while the crowds are tough, it's nothing comparable to going into a rival college stadium.
Yeah, I would agree with. I've never been to an NFL game, but I feel like college fans bring a little more intensity than
Because it
NFL
feels like
fans.
the NFL stadiums, for the most part, they're more classier fans. A lot of guys
Yeah,
are like they're
and
cheering,
they
but
just and they just fight at NFL stadiums.
yeah. Well, I mean, they fight at college stadiums too. But it feels like NFL fans are, they're cheering for their team for the most part, and if they lose, hey, it is what it is.
And I think NFL stadiums, since they hold, the capacity is a lot larger, you
No,
might be
no,
able
no.
to.
College stadiums are normally a little bit bigger, depending on where they're at.
Really?
Dog, have you seen some of these college stadiums?
Like I know Alabama, Texas, like
Michigan.
Oregon,
Yo,
Michigan.
there's a lot of, I don't know how many how many NFL stadiums fit over 100,000. There are several in college.
I wonder if college, if it's like because the stadiums, and this is just
They're a
me.
little more
They
bold.
go, yeah, they're bowl shaped and they go up, and while NFL stadiums a little bit,
They're
so the sound
wider.
comes down in a college stadium compared to an NFL stadium.
Yeah, the big house is a little over 100,000. I know Alabama's a little over 100,000. Texas is a little over 100,000. Texas A&M Stadium's huge, massive, a little over 100,000. Tennessee's a little over 100,000. I mean, those are
has a big stadium. South Carolina. I went to my mother-in-law in South Carolina. We went by the stadium. I was like, oh my god, this is massive.
So there are some massive, pretty big stadiums in college. That was just an interesting tidbit that I heard from some professional players. Anyway, continuing on, Oregon, after the complete ass kicking of Colorado, they move up to 9. Utah is now 10, which is funny. I hear a lot of programs say that Utah plays tough in Salt Lake City, and then outside of Salt Lake City, they are not like that. That's funny to me.
Yep.
Let me ask you something. After that Oregon-Colorado game, did you feel that discourse around the game, after the game, was a little racy?
Yeah, I feel like their coaches are adding a little something extra for Prime because it's Prime.
Wasn't it the pregame speech?
Oh, the pregame speech. I don't have a problem with Oregon's pregame speech. You can laugh. You can laugh at the irony. They do it for clicks. Meanwhile, ESPN is filming your pregame speech for engagement and clicks. Hilarious. Yeah. But I don't have a problem. Prime talks a big game, and you should be able to take it. If you can. You should be able
to he did. Like he owned the loss at the press conference. He was like, "Yo, they kicked our ass." Yeah. So this is what I don't like. I don't like how people go on the internet and say, "Oh, the way he was arguing at the post conference, and all that is because he was a black coach and they were all colluding." Because you heard the report of teams were conspiring and helping. It's like, yo, dog. I feel like that's common in football, by the way. Teams and coaches call other coaches to see how they saw what they saw, how they kind of game plan. That's what they do in the off season too. So please don't. This is not in the new.
And teams trade film.
Yeah. All the time.
All the time. Like, it's fine. I have no issue with anything that happened.
Listen, I like what Deion said. Give me now while we're not good. This is a team that's growing. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the more of these games they keep getting in prime time, and the more talk y'all keep doing on Colorado, y'all think this is gonna stop?
Especially
this year is the year to let people know, as long as they are competitive in most of these games, then it will tell a lot of recruits they're
not even that
this close away. And that is, I'm telling you, next year's Colorado, and I'm telling you, the 2 years from now, the 2025 version of Colorado, it would not surprise me if they're, I think they're going to be in the Big 12. They are going to be highly competitive in the Big 12.
Yeah. And with the transfer portal, it's a lot easier to build teams. We're going to talk about Bama in a second. It's so much easier to build teams now, the transfer portal. He's right. Like, Dylan, give me now while you can, because
that defense is butter.
And they're missing, not that Travis Hunter is going to cover up that kind of ass beating, but they were down their second most important player.
They were. Continuing on in the top 25. So Notre Dame drops to 11 after the Ohio State loss.
Yep.
Alabama's now at 12. LSU's at 13. Let me ask you something about Alabama. Does it feel like they lost a step this year?
It feels like it. You can say the same thing about Georgia in a couple of seconds. I think we're going to talk about who are our top 4 teams after the first month.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Bama and Georgia both look like they've lost a step.
Yeah, you lose a lot of good NFL talent, and things don't look as smooth.
I think it's time for Nick Saban to embrace the transfer portal. He's kind of against it. He's kind of been pushing back against that, pushing back against NIL. and the coaches that embrace it.
Like I think he's found some transfer guys. I think so. Here's the thing about Alabama. You get a lot of transfer portal interest, but you also bring in some of the top recruits. So
Yeah.
while you can look for the transfer portal, you are also known historically for developing players very well. So there's probably plenty of NFL talent. My thing is, it does look like they've lost a step, but I just think they haven't found the QB that runs the system well. They got a running QB who maybe struggles to pass. You have a passing QB who maybe isn't as mobile. Maybe if you put them together, you may have Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, so on and so forth. All right, keeping it going. Oklahoma is now 14 in the top 25. Washington State moved up 5 spots to 16. Mizzou, Kansas, and Fresno State also joined the top 25. Just some other notables. Shout out to the Pac-12. You guys are showing up strong. Colorado, as you can imagine, after a beating like that, they drop out of the top 25. So, Danny, when you are taking a look at the landscape of college football, who would be in your college football playoff if the season ended today?
If we're doing only the 4, the old-fashioned way, and this is, I don't have Michigan in there at all. Michigan has played no one. True. So for me, it's Texas, and this is not in any order. Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, and UGA is the reigning national champion. They haven't really played anyone either, but they did beat South Carolina. That is a divisional. It's SEC team. So those would be my 4 in no particular order: Texas, Ohio State, Florida State, UGA.
Listen, I don't like them, but until they lose a game after winning 19 straight, I'm going to keep Georgia at 1. I got Texas probably 2, Ohio State 3. And honestly, when I look at the landscape, Washington, I think, should be 4. I think they are a really good squad up in Washington.
Washington was the first one out for me.
Yeah, Washington is really, really good. I think Michael Penix Jr. is really, really good. Some other notables, Penn State, what they're maybe doing in Happy Valley may be notable. Michigan, to Bam's point, they are number 2. I just got to see them play somebody because I know
he not up here talking about some Rutgers. Bam, find me the last NFL player that played at Rutgers.
Rutgers beat up on Virginia Tech, who is not looking the best. So that
ain't nothing to.
Yeah, ain't nothing to brag about. Listen, Michigan State, whatever the fuck y'all got going on, it smells nasty.
Did you read the Times article of how that unfolded? It's long, or was it the Daily Beast? It was some publication.
Tell me more about it.
So the Michigan State's head coach
Mel Tucker,
thank you, signs this big deal to help his players understand like consent and the effects of sexual violence and rape. They bring this the speaker who specializes that she was raped. She's been very open about it. She brings him to campus. He brings her to campus. The talk goes well. It goes so well. He wants to bring her back periodically over the years to have these conversations, not only with football players, but like with athletic staff as a whole. Mm-hmm. And according to Mel, he's saying that those two kind of formed a relationship. Even though he was married at the time, he's saying he and his wife were separated, but he was legally married, it sounds like. And she's saying, no, he made multiple passes at me. I told him, no, we are just friends. And the big bombshell in this is that he rubs one out while talking on the phone to her.
And he's saying
saying it was all consensual. He's saying that those two started to develop a physical consensual relationship. She is saying, no. He has hit on me multiple times. I have told him no multiple times, but she still wanted to go back to the school to keep talking to athletes because that's her thing. And then she said
Mel Tucker, listen, brother, it's over.
Oh yeah, he's been fired.
We got him, and you're not coming back. We got him.
But he's fighting back because all that money was guaranteed. The only way he would lose that money is if Michigan State could fire him for something
justifiable cause.
For justifiable cause, yes, Bam. $80 million for phone sex.
Oh, essentially. So he may be thinking this is an inside job because he's bad. The team's bad, and I don't need to not pay him that money.
Yes, he's thinking there's some sort of conspiracy. And he is saying that this was consensual, and if he can prove it was consensual, he's
Then
still
you have
going
to
to.
think that this is a conspiracy.
Yes.
Oh, well, then I'm with the black man. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna take that back. I'm not with nobody. I'm not with nobody.
Kyle, yes, the
Is,
irony in all this is so thick. I don't even want to think about it.
yeah, I know, Kyle. Exactly. Yeah, I see this too. Well, prayers and condolences to all parties involved. Moving on to our quick hitter, big deal or no deal
Let's do it.
section. Daddy, I'm gonna run through some things. We're gonna end on WNBA playoff talk since I know that's a big talking point. Listen, an NFL team scoring 70 points in an NFL defense. It seems kind of personal. Is this a big deal or no deal?
Big ass deal. We ain't seen that since 1966. I got to shoot somebody. I'm not a violent man, but as someone who played football, someone scored 10 touchdowns on me, somebody fighting. We got to do something.
Let me tell you something. At first I thought, man, Denver's defense just stopped playing, but then I realized, first off, that Denver team could not have believed they were about to come in and win that game. For one, two, it also made me realize that Mike McDaniel must have told his players before that game started that the Denver Broncos once interviewed him and didn't give him the head coaching job, and so that this is a little personal to him, and they went out there and said, "Okay, coach, we got you."
Dog, Sean Payton talking all that sweet shit.
70 points.
70 on your head.
I tweeted this out. I said 70 points in the NFL defense is a good way to get somebody fired. I'm waiting to see if
what have I said about Sean Payton since the inception of the show?
He can't coach defense.
He a fraud.
Oh, Lord.
Fraud.
Listen, speaking of fraudulent activities, is it a big deal or no deal that Josh McDaniels and Marcus Freeman maybe lost their respective teams the game with soft play calling?
It's a big deal. We talked about this last week. The Raiders are too poor to fire Josh McDaniels this year. So this is it for the year.
Listen, Marcus Freeman in Notre Dame, Josh McDaniels and the Raiders. Let me tell you guys something. You play to win the game. You play to win the game. Sometimes I get lost. You play to win the game.
I don't even want to talk about Chandler Jones.
Man.
I hope he gets the help he needs.
Prayers and condolences to Chandler Jones as well.
Yeah.
How long can the Jets stay patient as a team here? Is this a big deal or a no deal?
They need to do something this week. They need to, like,
what can they do? Everyone says, go find somebody. Go pick up him. Go pick up him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to let you know it is week 3 of a 17-week NFL season. Who the hell are you going to bring into a locker room that is going to learn the playbook that fast and be competitive in live game action enough that better than the only person that's been there through camp and all that? You are stuck, New York Jets. You are STUCK. Stuck.
Can we put a pin in that? Because before we came on air, Colin Kaepernick did you read that?
What?
So, you didn't see it. Oh God. So J. Cole releases this letter that Colin Kaepernick wrote to the Jets asking to be on their practice squad. And there are references at the end of this letter. And it's like, my man, you took the hush money. It's over.
I'm getting tired of hearing about this.
I'm getting tired of hearing this, man.
I'm with the people. I'm down with the cause. Power to my brothers and my sisters. But let me tell y'all something. Colin Kaepernick settled with the NFL, and what they told him is, my man, you are never going to play football again. If there's an opportunity to come up, act like you're interested so we can have that engagement. But you are never playing another NFL down again. Take this money. Go feed your family for life. But you, sir, will not play in the NFL again.
And it's wrong, right?
Cole, give me the fall off. Don't give me anything about Colin Kaepernick. He's not coming back. Jets, again, you are STUCK, stuck. There's no one you can bring in. There's RG3, you are great. There's just nobody you can bring in.
No,
There's nobody you can bring in.
Can't bring in
Now, I hear you
Carson.
saying Joe Flacco. Are you serious? If you go out there and sign Joe Flacco, what are you telling your team? Joe Flacco gives us a better chance to win than Zach Wilson?
But
Are you
he
shitting
does.
me?
He does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
That was
Dog.
listen.
Dog.
If you're going to do anything, go back and get Mike White. Then you might have
Jesus.
them.
Hold on. Looks like I know Zach Wilson is last in QBR, but I just need to see how bad it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Justin Fields has the worst QBR. Zach is second. You want to guess Zach's QBR out of 100?
42.
26.7.
Listen, Jets, you are stuck. How about let's talk a little WWE? A lot of
Let's
latest storylines. I think John Cena's coming back, maybe trying to take down what is it, the Usos and the Bloodline.
Yeah, we don't care about that. We care about the signing that was announced.
Jay Cargill.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
And listen, this is big. This is big. I see what Triple H and them doing. They over there trying to get some
I see Triple H gonna put Jade and Bianca together, and let me tell you something. Call the horny police because Twitter gonna melt.
It's gonna be. They name got to be something with chocolate in it.
Oh, it's gonna be blackberries. I already know. I already sent it to Triple H.
Listen, call them dipped in chocolate.
That's they're gonna be out here arm wrestling dudes in the audience.
Do you find it interesting that Jimmy Uso is kind of in the bloodline, but it kind of seems like he's not in the bloodline, and Jey Uso's just trying to figure out if he wants to go back in the bloodline or not?
Yeah, I think.
So it seems to me like they're painting the story of Jimmy and Jay without the bloodline not being so hot to kind of I think paint a reunion of them forming the bloodline back.
Correct. I feel like this is going to happen around the Royal Rumble, maybe end of this year.
Because what I feel like might happen maybe around Survivor Series time is that the New Day is going to take on the bloodline.
Okay, for me it's brain fart. What's the faction Rhea Ripley's in with Finn and Damian
and the New Day?
No, that's not the New Day.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day. That's I think Judgment Day is gonna.
That's what I meant to say. Did I say New Day?
Yeah, you said New Day. Judgment Day
versus
same
Bloodline.
Yeah, same. Yes, I agree with that. I feel like they're going to put a beating on Jay, and that's going to cause, hey, come back to the bloodline. Yeah, I am with you on that.
But it does seem to me like Solo Sikoa and maybe Paul Heyman are not as accepting to Jimmy Uso as
they aren't, and that's the next chapter in this story. And I think we're trying to put water in the ketchup until we get to Mania season or on the cusp of Mania season, because that's the main event of Mania next year to me is Solo versus Roman.
I think it's Solo versus Jimmy.
Really? I think it's Solo versus Roman for the title.
Jay versus Roman, maybe.
And with Paul in Solo's corner. I think Paul's going to turn on Roman.
We could see. What do you think about Nia Jax coming back?
That's going to be Jade's first. I feel like that's going to be Jade's first beef. Because the thing about Jade is she's strong. Nia, big girl.
Yeah, but
that's
my only thing. Nia, be gentle with that queen.
You need to tell Jade to be gentle.
Nia got a history of hurting folk too.
Yes, she does. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Asuka, because she's gonna be on SmackDown.
You think?
I mean, she was signed yesterday. They announced the signing yesterday. I feel like she's gonna show up Friday. And Raw has enough. Like Raw has Becky, Bianca's on Raw when she comes back.
NXT now. She's the NXT champion, which
but her she bounces from NXT to Raw. Well, she was on Raw before NXT. Like Raw has enough women's talent.
Has a lot too with Roman and
all they have is Charlotte.
WWE's in a good spot.
I'm talking about for women's talent. Like SmackDown has Charlotte, Asuka. What else you got?
They got Shotzi, Bayley.
Yeah, Jade belongs. Put her on SmackDown.
Let me ask you if this is a big deal or not. Taylor Swift at Chiefs games. Listen, announcers, let it go. Let it go. I don't want to hear about that bullshit no more.
I don't care. Did you see? Now it's bled
to baddies. Talk to me when Rihanna is back at an NFL arena. Talk to me when Beyonce in the arena. Let me know when Meg may be twerking at something.
Dog, did you?
Talk to me when Sade is in the arena. I'm here. You gave me the kiss of life.
She ain't lost a step. Hold it, Sade.
Kiss of life. 50 fine.
Yeah, you right. How old is she?
Let me ask
She
you
is
something.
60 years old.
Oh yeah, nah. Listen, hold on. My next statement was not about to be appropriate for the show. Sade, I know it's. Never mind.
60. Let me tell you something. The Lord loved black women. He got to. He black women heated Travis went back to the milk. I don't know why.
Why is this a development that newsflash white man likes white woman too?
I don't know, man.
First off, why y'all on Travis's jock like that? Like my man don't be pulling baddies. What if Taylor Swift is main, but he got a couple of side nominees, has some chocolate sisters?
I hope he wouldn't be doing our
What
sisters
if
like that.
Travis was knocking down mad sisters in his free time, but then had a little extra free time for a Taylor Swift and had to let some women's go. He probably had some baddies too.
I hope he wouldn't treat our women like that.
Listen. Look at Travis's ex-girlfriend. I mean, he has some baddies. He just want to dip in. He just want to dip. He just want to be a milkman for a little bit. And and I see the play too. His mama loved Taylor Swift. That's probably how they initially connected. His mom liked Taylor Swift, hit her up and was like,
Mama
"Yo, I'd love to come to one of your shows." And she was like, "Oh my gosh, Travis, congratulations!"
Mama Kelsey got 2 Hall of Fame sons and a potential megastar as a daughter-in-law. She went in. She the real victor in all this.
Bam said Taylor Swift a certified.
The hell she not.
And that's when we're going to get into our WNBA.
Bam. But
so behind
go rub one out.
The Liberty and the Sun playing.
Yes, Liberty and Sun are playing. This is game 2.
Connecticut.
Connecticut's up right now. 42-38.
Talk to me about these WNBA playoff matchups so far.
So before we get into that, awards were announced. Asia won Defensive Player of the Year. That was announced 2 or 3 days ago. Breanna Stewart. It was announced before this game. She won MVP. I would have preferred Asia, but I get why Stewie had 4 40-point games this year. She's like top 3 in all the major categories. It's fine. The only thing Asia needs to win is Finals MVP, and then her resume is complete. The Sun and Liberty have been really interesting. Connecticut took game 1, so Connecticut's up 1-0 against New York, and if this holds, they'll be 2-0 going back home. Let me tell you something.
3 or 5 game series.
It's 5-game series.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something. If the New York Liberty lose in the second round, we are going to have a serious conversation.
Oh, especially since Stewie just won MVP.
Especially like that's Dirk losing to Golden State level right there. Now Connecticut is a great team, right? Like don't get me wrong.
I can't let you get that off.
Connecticut's a good team. Like I'm not saying Connecticut is full of scrubs, but they don't have a superstar like New York. New York has 2 superstars, like 2 bona fide superstars. One of their superstars left Connecticut last year to go play in New York. And you can't, DeWanna Bonner is personal. Yeah, so Jonquel Jones played in Connecticut last year. They lost in the finals to Vegas. And Jonquel went to New York with Stewie to join Sabrina. So, yeah, and Alyssa Thomas plays for Connecticut. She got second place in MVP voting. She has had the most triple doubles in WNBA history in one season. Like she's a tank. So
what do you think? What's your WNBA finals matchup prediction?
So it's going to be Vegas. Vegas plays Dallas tonight. Asia dominated Dallas, which is insane because we talked about Dallas earlier this year about how they can match up with Vegas, especially on the front court. They have 2 bigs that are over 6 feet. The theory is you can just beat Asia up on the glass. They tried it. It did not work game 1. Asia had like a 30-piece. It looked relatively easy. So I think Vegas is going to win that matchup. I think Dallas will win tonight, but I think Vegas is going to win the war. And I really want to pick Connecticut. I'm almost there. Connecticut has turned up the defense against New York. Everyone's favorite white girl, Sabrina Ionescu, she not showing up in the playoffs. That's kind of crazy. When the heat turn on, what happens when the lights turn on?
You gotta let this.
I don't hate Sabrina. I just think I've said it before. She gets superstar treatment, and she is not a superstar.
I think she is.
She is the 3rd best player on her team.
So that means her team's good.
She's a great number 3 option, and she's an okay number 2 option.
That's hate.
That's not hate. Hey, Sabrina had the team herself last year. Lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, we'll see. So by this time next week, will the finals be set?
Yeah, I think this time next week. I think the finals start next Wednesday, but I think this time next week we'll have our matchup.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So you can anticipate a finals breakdown on next week's episode.
It's going to be real easy. It's going to be Asia, Vegas in 3. Asia's your MVP. I don't care who they play. That girl on a mission. Stay up tonight. They come on at 10 o'clock. Vegas versus Dallas. Just watch number 22 in black. Just watch her.
She's incredible. I'm excited. I'm gonna be tuned in. Danny, it's been a great show. Listen, I want to end this show by once again revisiting this Superflex Dynasty trade, just so we can leave the people with a little bit of a cliffhanger as we go into our show. As we go into next week. So, Danny, we're going to talk about this one more.
Is this the Superflex?
Yeah, the Superflex. So, you are interested in maybe bulking up your RB room. So, you're interested in Travis Etienne.
Yep.
I'm looking at my wide receiver room saying we need a little help here.
Yep.
So, I'm looking at a Stephon Diggs.
Correct.
So, you're saying I'm also looking at your team and saying, hey, Evan Ingram might be a good upgrade at the tight end position.
Yep.
So maybe I offered Pat Freiermuth at first, and maybe something you had to think about. So I was thinking,
so it was Stephon Diggs and Evan Ingram.
What I could also do, if Pat Freiermuth to Tyler Higbee is not of interest, then I could consider Jackson Smith-Njigba or Nico Collins.
I'm gonna keep it a whole buck with you. I'm gonna try to get my hands on AJ Brown or Jamar Chase one more time.
All right,
and then I'm gonna circle back.
All right, there you go.
I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I'm gonna test my man's Jamar Chase theory.
Who's Jamar Chase theory?
What's
Derry.
that guy? Yeah, Burley Wood.
Oh, that's Reggie.
Yeah, he has Jamar and AJ, and he put both of them on the trade block last week. I'm gonna test it.
Danny, you know what?
Test it.
You're going for one?
No, I'm gonna do 2 for 1. I'm giving the same trade I offered him last week.
Keenan Allen and Evan Ingram for AJ Brown.
I'm gonna go with Jamar first and see what he says.
All right, brother, man. Well, we'll see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep you updated next week on Speak On It. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been the bro with the fro, and you already know that when I speak on it, sometimes I got to go. I'm here, as always, with the smoothest bald head on the East Coast. We want to thank all of you for another incredible show. Make sure you follow the pod at @SpeakOnIt_pod on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. Make sure you follow myself at Los D Mix on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Twitch. We out here. Danny, let the people know where you can find them.
Find me on the Bird app at DannyOcean41. Also, send your questions to us, speakonitpod14@gmail.com. We haven't gotten questions in a while. Football season's here. They can be fantasy related. They can be life related. If you need ideas, I know the weather's changing. You need some ideas. How do I invite her over to my house to snuggle and watch a game? I got you. Got the playbook already typed up.
No, wait a minute. How do you have them? You've been married.
I'm just saying, like, I got the playbook in the
game washed.
Yeah, it's washed now. But back when I was a stallion. Hey.
First off, okay, we're going to end the show. Grown men referring to themselves as stallions.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Y'all have a great week. You know where to catch us next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Los D Mix Danny, speak on it.